equipment. But once again, that minigame is just ridiculous in my personal opinion. Oh boy. But we're going to go ahead and let Bowser crawl around in Bubble Lake now. So just as a fun fact, because, you know, I liked having things to talk about and doing research, but I just Google searched Bubble Lake with nothing else, no context, no saying this is Mario and Luigi Bubble Lake. Just Google image search Bubble Lake and you're going to get a lot of really beautiful pictures.
Be very careful what you just randomly type into Google searches. I will tell you that much. I have experience. I would know.
But we have ran into another new enemy. This guy is called the Bee Hoss. So he is literally a honeycomb on legs. And the bees that come out actually will try to anticipate you pulling out your shell. Because as you can see, I pulled out my shell just a little too quickly there. And he hesitated. But thankfully I was able to pull out the shell again. So you gotta time the shell right. And then you can punch the bee right back into the beehive. Which hurts. Oh yeah, and they can also heal. But thankfully, they are weak to fire, so just a couple of fire attacks in. Actually, technically, they aren't weak to fire, but they're susceptible to burning, so I'll take it. There we go. And just like that, he has been destroyed. I find it interesting how we were talking about the Bumpsy Plains and the topic of bees came up. I completely forgot that in the area adjacent to Bumpsy Plains, we go into Bubble Lake. And oh, I suppose this is where all the bees are. Okay.
I was about to say, you just didn't tell me there was bees there. Now there's bees in a different part of it? What the hell?
Mm-hmm. That was my own bad memory. More than anything else. Anyway, what am I doing? Yes, let's go ahead and take care of that fall plant. Just run right into him. I think I'm trying to figure out where to go here because I didn't realize that one obstacle that I ran earlier, I could just fire it down. But yeah, I kind of messed up. Let's take a look at that map again. Yep, I messed up. Point I was trying to say earlier, if you go just south of Toad Town, you see a beautiful lake. So now you know, you just have to go south Toad Town, go south of the train tracks, go a little further south, and now you're at a lake. I sometimes have to wonder how much of a nightmare it would be for somebody to take all the games that have represented the Mushroom Kingdom and try to consolidate it down into a single map. It would be a horrible, horrible...
Yeah, good luck with that.
But we have found the Koopa Troopas. They're the Koopa Troop, and they are stuck in a cage. Literally stuck in a cage behind a rock wall. And as you know, Bowser can't jump, so his thought process, I can punch this wall down. No, it's a little hard. But the Koopa Troopas really believe in Bowser. Bowser can break anything! Ha, ha, ha. Yes, of course I'll break it down. At some point, you just gotta say, putting enemies in cages and just leaving them behind walls is cruel and unusual punishment. But that kind of goes by your point you were saying you popped out earlier. Fawful's kind of king at the moment. I suppose he can do what he pleases. He's probably really messed up on the laws in the Mushroom Kingdom. Could you imagine just reading the law, but instead of in law speak, it's in Fawful speak? There we go. That's
yeah. Let's change the whole language over to Fawful speak, and you know, have horrible puns and rhymes. That's how people would talk. No, just no.
You wouldn't want to live in a world where the legal system was spoken Fawful speak. Anyway, this weird thing that I saw earlier, I was like, do we use this to knock things into the lake? Actually, yes. This is how Bowser enters the lake. Not by getting ready and jumping in the lake and doing a cannonball, by punching a ball that literally forces him right into the lake. There we go. So that's how we get in and out of Bubble Lake, actually, because we can literally go in the lake, and Bowser can swim around. You were saying swimming in a Mario and Luigi game will pop her? Yes, there is swimming in this game.
Yeah, but it's by Bowser. And how the hell does he swim? He can't. He's so heavy.
Well, on that note, turtles can swim, but tortoises can't. So obviously Bowser's a turtle, not a tortoise, or at least partially turtle-based, not partially tortoise-based. If he was partially tortoise-based, we'd be having a game over about now, because Bowser would be drowning. Either that, or because technically, like, actually, let's head back into Bubble Lake here. Technically, we don't have a breath meter, per se. we could swim forever. If you remember earlier in the game, we were on the Plaque Beach, and Mario and Luigi were swimming all around that area. Yeah, who needs oxygen? No one needs oxygen. What oxygen? What are you talking about? Maybe it's because it's Bubble Lake. Because, you know, bubbles, Bubble Lake. You know how in Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, look at this new enemy. Holy cow. This guy has giant teeth. Wow, okay. You know, I just want to ask you, Popter, what in the world do you think a guy like this would be called?
I don't know. Fawful Gator? Gator Fawful? Something? Whatever?
Almost. Crawful.
Crawfuls.
Yep,
That sounds like a potato chip.
I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a bag of Crawfuls. Wow, you're totally right, Evil Pop.
See? It sounds like a bag of potato chips, does it not?
So here's the deal. Whenever we're fighting these guys as Bowser, we want to just use the vacuum immediately because they lose their teeth. And whenever they lose their teeth, whenever they try to heal, because that's actually what that Crawful just tried to do. He tried eating a bean, but he had no teeth. And because he had no teeth, he couldn't eat the bean, and he just knocked himself silly. But otherwise, Crawfuls are just weird. They attack by throwing things in front of themselves and then just kind of running into you. And they can either throw bananas in front of themselves or they can throw rocks in front of themselves. The bananas cause them to just slide right into Bowser, but the rocks cause them to try to do a belly slam in front of Bowser. And I gotta say, I really hate the belly slam attack, actually, because the belly slam attack, it looks like they're coming from up above, and you should hit the shell guard button, but no, you actually have to punch them at the right time to punch them out. So always punch the Crawfuls is the lesson of the day. As for what they're doing under the sea, I don't know. If I put a bag of potato chips under the sea, I would have a soggy bag of potato chips, and I would be a very sad person. I don't want that to happen to my Crawfuls. Ugh. I thought I was going to have a wonderful vacation at Bubble Lake, but no. My bag of Crawfuls just went soggy because I went into the lake. What a dumb idea. But if the Crawful, if you leave his teeth on and he is able to eat the bean, it's a 60 HP heal from. So lesson learned, don't do that. By the way, you cannot jump on enemies even when you're underwater and you can kind of swim as Bowser. If you do that, you just kind of get first striked on. Yeah, no. Now, even though there's no reason for us to actually go quote-unquote inside of Bowser while we're inside of Bubble Lake, one of the things that Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story does is every single area, you have the overworld theme, the one we're currently listening to, and you also have the quote-unquote inside of Bowser theme, and Bubble Lake's inside of Bubble Lake Bowser theme is pretty weird. I played it for a bit there very, very briefly, but it didn't last too terribly long, but the person who made the music in this game, the name escapes me. I know it's a her, though. Ugh. Basically, she had to do every single theme twice. Once normally, and then once with a whole bunch of more organic instruments. It's pretty cool. Now we're finally out of the sea, so that means it is time for some raft rides. As Bowser already gets it. Look at his thought process. He's like, yes, I'm going to hop onto the raft and punch my way through things. I hope you didn't miss this mechanic, Evil Popter, because now we've got a lot of it.
No, I actually hate this mechanic, so, you know, we're good.
Here we go. The equipment that I just got is the Rampage Shell. It's actually a pretty decent equipment, at least at this point in the game. While it is a decent defense increase, it also is a decent power increase. I'm not hurting for defense at the moment, so I decided, you know what? I'll go with it. I'll take the attack power increase. And by the way, Milesluigi, what are you doing? You're just going in loops now. As for these raft segments, they just kind of, it's like, okay, I just punch things to go forward and I can't stop moving forward. Then at least I made it to my destination. Hooray! It appears that we have found a flower that smells really well. Actually, it kind of smells kind of good. You know what this means? It's time for a minigame in the nose deck.
Do turtles have boogers?
I would have to assume so. Anyway, the tutorial for this is like 2 minutes. The idea is we have to knock pollen into Bowser's nostrils.
Hey, magic school bus! We're gonna delete all the bad smells and make sure all the good smells get through.
That's an interesting way to think about it, actually, Evapopter, because actually the white pollens that we're trying to knock in are all, I guess, good pollens? But actually the second phase of this minigame that we're going to run into, there's bad pollens, so it's interesting that you point that out. But first we have to line up all the walls, make sure all the walls get pollen hitting into them, and there we go. Like that, the pollen has caused all the nerve cells here to swollen, and now we have to knock ourselves into it. There we go.
Yeah, this is so stolen from the Magic Tool Bus.
So now there's a whole bunch of bad pollen appearing, and if we run into it, we lose a heart. We don't want to lose all 3 hearts, or else the whole minigame starts over. And at least if you start the whole minigame over again, like, you don't get the tutorials again, but still, I don't want to play the whole minigame again. The way this whole minigame works is you have to use the touch screen, and you have to use the touch screen to cause Mario and Luigi to fly all over the place. It's kind of annoying. We did all that to make Bowser sneeze. Bowser has had an allergy attack, and literally he just stuffed an entire boat to the right by sneezing. He's got one hell of a sneeze. Then again, we did kind of help him sneeze. You would think sniffing pollen, you would just kind of naturally sneeze. Bowser needed a little help in that department. He's got one hell of a nostril. One hell of an insensitive nostril, I suppose I should say.
One would say he was huffing the flowers. Smelling them too much. It's kind of like, you know, when you're cooking with pepper and you use too much pepper and all of a sudden you get that big whiff of it and you go, uh-oh, 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 and then... No? Okay, maybe that's just me.
I guess I don't cook with pepper enough. Yes, although I completely understand what you're saying, because I've definitely seen it in cartoons. Put too much pepper on someone's nose, they go, achoo! Anyway, we've got to play this minigame again. This time we're on the boat, though, so you could probably guess what playing this minigame a second time will do for us.
The boat go farther.
We are stuffing a lot of pollen into Bowser's nose. This is, you would think at some point it would, like, make him sick, but it doesn't, so... once again, he must have an extremely insensitive nose. Which consequently, if you think about the fact that he would have a really insensitive nose, it would mean that he also doesn't have that strong of a taste bud, which actually goes exactly in theory with how this game proceeds, because you noticed how Bowser really, really enjoys high-fat, high-calorie foods? Well, maybe it's because he doesn't smell well, so the best foods that he's able to taste are foods that have a shit ton of taste to them. High-fat, high-calorie foods.
Makes sense.
See, I can put 2 and 2 together. It's not Bowser's fist that knocks out the rocks, it's Bowser's sneeze. Oh, and I guess the help of a boat, too.
Poor boat. It's probably all broken up to splinters by now.
It kind of is.
I just saw that. Yes, it is.
There we go. But yeah, now we can go ahead and knock open this cage and get us the Koopa corpse. And we can now use them in battle. We're going to go ahead and show that a little bit later in the video. And of course, at the end of the video, you can see me practicing it as well. It's a pretty fun attack. Extravagant entrance, once again, by sneezing. That fade out was not done by me, that was actually done in game, which means in game implies that they probably screamed King Bowser a lot and a lot and a lot and a lot. And okay, I think we kind of get it, guys. We kind of get it. Let's go ahead and fight some new enemies. Or I guess these actually aren't new enemies per se. But that's a new enemy. So this guy can appear actually either in the Bumpsy Plains or in Bubble Lake, and I didn't get him for until now in Bubble Lake. This guy here is the Lakitu King. Basically a Lakitu, but it's an enemy that if you do run into, you really want to defeat him quick, because he'll actually run away in like 2 turns. But he can give you an interesting equipment. Let's go ahead and try to defeat him, because I've now used the Super Strike that badge setup that actually I had been holding on for quite a bit here, using some Yoo-hoo cannons, and as you can see, even that wasn't quite enough to defeat him. If you run into this guy while you're in Bumpsy Plains, it's theoretically possible to beat him, but in practice, it's really difficult, because as you can see, I'm pulling out some of my strongest attacks at the moment just for him, and I'll defeat him on this turn, but it can be difficult, and he will run away. There we go. I actually don't know how much HP he has off the top of my head, just that I know it's more than a typical enemy. But by defeating him, if we take a look here, the equipment that I just got here is a gold crown. It's a useless equipment, but it sells for a lot of money. Oh, Luigi! Mario's stash, upgraded majorly, and then your stash, didn't. Great. Maybe I can have a little bit better luck with Bowser's level up here. There we go, yeah, we can level up HP a little bit. But yeah, if you do run into a Lakitu King, do try to defeat him. You can get a gold crown. You get a gold crown, you can sell it for a lot of money. There we go. So by getting off of this island, we now have more of these raft platforms to ride now, actually. You would think there would be better ways to get around Bubble Lake, but I guess not. The only way to get across the lake is to get onto a raft and then punch your way through things. Bowser, I guess, doesn't know what an oar is. But there's actually some hidden items hidden across the Bubble Lake here that we have to punch ourselves to get into. I'll be getting something actually a little bit later about that. Anyway, if we take this raft here, taking this raft will take us a screen down, and this screen down has this thing that I can't do anything with. Grrr! You know what that means? That means backtracking at some point. And also, this lets us get back into the lake. But the thing is, I was thinking, oh, I haven't seen this entrance into the lake yet. Oh, I've been here before. Oh. So, unfortunately, there's nothing new for us inside of Bubble Lake anymore. Oh well. Alright, Bowser, hit the rock. There you go. Here we go. A couple of new enemies, and I like how that Crawful literally just stops in front of me. That was kind of funny to watch. If you ask me, we ought to go ahead and check out our new attack here. But first, I need to knock out that Crawful. There we go. So, going all the way over to our attacks here, the Koopa Corpse. Once again, I like to emphasize back that a lot of Bowser's attacks, especially from here on forward, take up a lot of SP. This one takes up 10 SP. But this one, you basically have to play Arkanoid with Koopa Troopa shells, where you have to knock them back using Bowser's shell, just like that. It is decently powerful, actually, if you can keep the pattern going on, but if you miss a shell or two, its attack power drops dramatically. I do like this attack, though. I think it's relatively heavy for the SP cost, but as you can see, even though I put that battle in fast forward, I just did Koopa Corpse once. It killed everything. It's a cool attack. We are pretty much done here in Bubble Lake, actually. If I go south, you'll see that there is a save block here and a retry clock here, which hint, hint, nudge, nudge, save block next to retry clock. Something's coming up ahead. But there's something that I've missed back at Bubble Lake, and I knew I missed it because I was playing this, and I'm like, I know I missed something because there's an equipment here that I really, really, really want, and I know I missed it, so now I have to go searching all over the place to find it. I spent 20-25 minutes searching for this stupid thing, so I'm cutting out a ton of just useless gameplay for you guys, me trying to find this stupid equipment. But to summarize, as I got another entrance to inside of Bubble Lake, yeah, but nothing new. Bubble Lake, inside of it is so puny. Here's what you need to do. Get on this raft, alright? Then just wait. Don't punch anything. After you don't punch anything, punch backwards, and then punch up, and then, there we go. You wanna know what this equipment is? It is the Furry Fanes. Yes! This equipment makes it twice as likely to get furious. Yes, or actually 1.5 times easier. Sorry, you can delete your comment in the YouTube section now. I like this equipment. It makes Bowser more likely to get angry. I like it when Bowser gets angry. But yeah, that should do it for this episode of Let's Play Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. Next time, well, let's see here. Retry clock, save block. I'm thinking there's going to be something coming up there.
We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight because we're gonna use our new ability. Right? Right? Yep.
So, we're gonna see something. This has been Milesluigi.
Yeah, this has been the Pop Tart.
See you next time.
Ooh, wait a minute. Fight. Oh, there we go.